A morale boost from a shop owner in Taiwan. People on the island are rushing to buy patches that depict a Formosan black bear punching Winnie the Pooh. The shop owner said the design is to cheer up Taiwanese troops.
We are open.
We're open 24 hours, means always being alert, just like our national armed forces are protecting our country 24 hours a day.
In China, people often compare Chinese Communist Party head Xi Jinping to Winnie the Pooh as a way of mocking the leader. While Formosan black bears, also called the Taiwanese black bear, are native to Taiwan. Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. The Chinese regime conducting live-fire military drills around Taiwan over the weekend. This just a day after Taiwan's president returned from a visit in the U.S. Taiwan's defense ministry said its military had spotted dozens of Chinese aircraft and several ships near its territory by midday and was especially monitoring the movement of Chinese missile forces. Chinese state broadcaster CCTV saying the military was maintaining an offensive posture around the island. That's on the second day of simulated precision strikes against Taiwan over the weekend. China's People's Liberation Army put out a short animation of simulated attacks on Taiwan on its WeChat account, showing missiles exploding in flames as they hit their targets. Taiwan's defense ministry saying the island is on high alert. Taiwanese Defense Ministry spokesperson condemning the war games as destabilizing and jeopardizing regional security.
With no intention to escalate the situation, the ROC Armed Forces will uphold our sovereignty and maintain our national security in a composed, rational, and thoughtful manner.
ROC is the short form for Republic of China, Taiwan's official name. Taiwan's Coast Guard released video of a tense standoff with a Chinese military vessel on Saturday. Coast Guard officers seen following the Chinese warship and issuing a warning for it to leave over a communication device. Taiwan's Army, Navy, and Air Force launched their own drills in response. That's after reporting 91 Chinese aircraft, as well as 12 ships around Taiwan.
I would like to reiterate that the people of Taiwan love democracy, seek peace, and are keen to fulfill their responsibilities in the international community.
She added, despite the pressure, Taiwan remains strong.
We showed the international community that in the face of pressure and threats, Taiwan will be even more united and will absolutely not yield to suppression, nor due to obstructions stop exchanges with the world.
The Chinese regime claims democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory, despite having never ruled it. As tensions rise, questions about the world's superpowers and their abilities to fight are getting more attention. Who has the upper hand, the United States or China? Working to gain ground in that race, Beijing is ramping up output of its most advanced warplane. The regime bills it as a rival to the F-22 Raptor, America's best fighter jet. But experts say it's still too early to tell. Let's zoom in.
China is outpacing the U.S. in stealth fighter production, with its J-20 inventory set to top the U.S. Air Force's F-22s as early as this year. That's according to a February report by a London-based think tank. Is Washington losing its sky dominance over Beijing? Taiwan's military experts say aircraft yields are not the decisive factor in air superiority.
Beijing may soon catch up with the U.S. in terms of production, but it's still a generation behind in quality, which is a gap of about 10 to 15 years.
China's J-20 project dates back to the 1990s, but its real development only started after the unveiling of the U.S. F-22, the world's most capable combat aircraft. The jet that downed a Chinese spy balloon is the first fifth-generation fighter ever built. The Pentagon has banned its export for technology security, but China has been accused of ripping off U.S. know-how to grow its own version of the fighter.
The Chinese Communist Party named the J-20 a fifth-generation fighter for its claimed stealth capabilities, comparable to those of the F-22. But the J-20 is not a true fifth-generation fighter.
The J-20 mimics the F-22's built-in weapon bays, a key feature in the American fighter's stealth design. But J-20's current engines are no match for the cutting-edge versions used in F-22s. Because of this, the J-20 cannot sustain supersonic flight without using afterburners for extra thrust, while the U.S. F-22 can, marking a major difference in air combat abilities. Meanwhile, experts note that China's warplane lacks field-proven combat experience. By contrast, the U.S. boasts the best software and hardware match, capable of standing the test of real combat.
The F-22 is catapult-launched, while the J-20 is toss-launched. That's one advantage the F-22 has in combat when time is critical.
Chinese carriers are weak in launching warplanes. For example, a carrier in the U.S. 7th Fleet can launch an F-35 in an average of 1 minute. For the Chinese Liaoning or Shandong, however, the time could be 15 minutes. That's a 15-fold difference.
The White House is further tightening restrictions on chip exports. Analysts see the move as a deeper check on the Chinese military's future combat power.
A Monday meeting in the Indo-Pacific held to discuss disputed waters in the East China Sea. Senior Japanese and Chinese officials shook hands in Tokyo. The meeting comes after President Tsai Ing-wen visited the U.S. and met House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. During that time, Chinese warplanes and warships simulated strikes against Taiwan. Japan's defense ministry also said China's Shandong aircraft carrier conducted 120 aircraft launches and landings Sunday in waters close to Japan's Okinawan Islands. In response, Japan confirmed on Monday it scrambled military jets. As Tesla expands its productions in China, Apple is making its way out. On Sunday, Tesla announced a plan to open a Megapack batteries factory in Shanghai in an effort to supplement California-based production. The Megapack stores electricity generated by renewable energy to reduce the vehicle's reliance on coal and natural gas. Tesla is taking advantage of China's battery supply chain to lower the costs of its products, all in an effort to meet increasing demands for energy storage. The chairman of Chinese battery giant CATL, a longtime partner of Tesla, said the battery market will eventually get larger than that for electric vehicles themselves. In 2019, Tesla began producing its Model 3 cars in Shanghai and is now capable of producing 22,000 of them per week. Meanwhile, Apple is doing the opposite. Given the ongoing dispute between Beijing and Washington, the U.S. tech giant is seeking to shift its production to India. In 2022, Apple also experienced a major supply chain disruption due to China's lockdown-driven COVID-19 policy. Why did the French president and the European Union head go to China? We spoke to James Gorey, author of The China Crisis and contributor to the Epoch Times, for details.
Macron would like to extend or expand trade with China. He sees the trend, and he sees the ongoing de-dollarization of the global economy, and they're seeing the dollar being replaced with either the yuan or basket currencies and so forth. So both Macron and van der Leyen are there for realpolitik reasons. They know where the power lies.
China's leader Xi Jinping was very lavish in terms of how he treated Macron last week, such as inviting him to a tea ceremony. James Gorey says there is something behind it.
He wants to push the U.S. out of its spheres of influence, which includes Europe, obviously. The Eurozone is the largest economic zone on Earth. And Xi Jinping sees a terrific opportunity to turn Europe eastward and break the Atlantic Alliance, economic alliance, political alliance, military alliance.
James Gorey believes the world is moving away from a U.S.-led world order.
Popular social media app TikTok seemingly on a collision course. More than half of all U.S. states have outlawed the app from government-managed devices, with urgency and support growing for even larger nationwide bans, even one that could cover personal devices too. As lawmakers take issue with the app's Chinese parent ByteDance and concerns that U.S. user data could end up in Beijing, it could mark a prime opportunity for other platforms to step in. And TikTok sibling Lemon8 seems to be doing just that. Also owned by ByteDance, the alternative social media features a blend of Instagram and TikTok-style content. Some have likened it to platforms like Pinterest, both for the wide range of home decor, health, and beauty content it offers, and for its artsy, vibrant aesthetic. The app has seen 17 million global downloads since its launch in March 2020. 650,000 of those came from the U.S. within the past week and a half. Those numbers reflecting ByteDance's resolve to hold on to its dominance in the U.S. market. That success is also being helped along by another factor. Companies are moving away from a years-long status quo, discouraging workers from sharing their professional lives online. Some of them, like Cisco, Ericsson, and United Airlines, are now even urging staff toward influencer roles. It's even reached the White House, as hundreds of content creators now collaborate with the Biden administration.